Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the third game of the MavWar Hype Unity Tournament 2018 right here on Hard Rain between teams Leethal Assault Organization and Thinking. I am Rails Barlow, one of your two casters for tonight's game, and I am joined for his first competitive Left 4 Dead 2 match cast by the one and only Mr. Hollywood. Hollywood, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great, Rails. I'm excited to cast my first competitive Left 4 Dead 2 game.
Yeah, and you've picked a hell of a tournament to actually join and start doing that casting work in. We are, as I said, on the third game of this MavWar Hype tournament. You said that you've been around the competitive Left 4 Dead scene a little bit, though, in the past couple of years, right?
Yeah, I have. I played a few Left to Learn games a year ago, and I was part of a few pugs and whatnot. I was not super good, but I know my way around Left 4 Dead 2 games.
Exactly. And that's one of the interesting things about this MavWar tournament, as a matter of fact, since it's been around for that time. You know, they had a MavWar tournament back in 2016, they had a MavWar tournament a couple of years before that, but this one is definitely the largest one of those MavWar tournaments so far. We've had 2 games already, as a matter of fact, in this tournament in the past couple of days. We had a game on Monday night and a game on Wednesday night, and they were both relatively close. We expect the same thing from this game here in front of us. But a couple of things I'd like to mention, I think that I saw in the Twitch chat of those other couple games. This is a tournament that's split into 4 groups, right? And there's 4 teams in every group, and the people who make it to the elimination stages, you know, they're going to do the best 2 teams from each group based on their win percentage and then also the point differential between the teams. So that's the way this is working, just to clarify a little bit of that. And this is the first game of the tournament for both these teams we have in front of us, some familiar names going around, and we should be readying up relatively soon. Hollywood, what do you expect from this?
Well, I do know I've played against Hydro and I've seen Impulse play. They're both very good players. Actually, now that I realize, I've also seen Brittany play. I'm really excited to watch this match. The last 2 matches were extremely close, and I think this may be a similar case that we have here.
Exactly. And so, as a matter of fact, before these teams go live, as xBye has returned, let's do a quick roster rundown. On Survivor side, Team Thinking is going to be Hydro, M, aka Vixen, Joseph, and Brittany. And who do we have for Team Leethal Assault Organization, Hollywood?
On LAO, we've got Reach, Impulse, Nuth, and Lamauer.
That would be Lawnmower, but he's managed to do a little bit of a integration there with his name. And speaking of that, we actually did have a roster change prior to this game. For those expecting Presto on Team Lao, he is not playing tonight. They have Impulse, as a matter of fact. I believe he's actually been made a full member of that team at this point. So that is a little bit of a deviation from what we were originally expecting, but we also have Joseph, who is the backup on Team Thinking, filling in for Sick, who is usually on that main 4. So a couple roster variations, but a bunch of experienced players on both sides, and we are excited to see exactly how this goes. Hard Rain's always a fun map, I would say.
Oh yeah, this Hard Rain, the finale is always exciting to watch. Map 3 especially is a big opportunity for turnarounds in my experience, and my experience on playing games and watching competitive games.
Oh yeah, map 3 can be big, especially depending on that tank. But map 4, this is something to mention now, actually. We're mentioning a good amount on the top of this cast. And we'll also do the shout-outs, you know, to Found Time and E-Freak and the Owl and Maverick Words for hosting this. But for those who are familiar with how Hard Rain used to be, map 4 is the old map 4. And so what I mean by that is that can be the map that just completely turns the game around. In Ace Mod and Zone Mod, it was nerfed a little bit, where the distance points were brought down. But I think, and from what I've seen scrimming it, the distance points on map 4 are the old versions that used to be in Pro Mod, so you can see teams scoring an obscene amount of points, both on map 4 and the finale. I always look for high-scoring games on Hard Rain, just because if you have teams that are just rolling on Survivor and scoring 1k points a chapter, I think that's extremely entertaining. We'll see if these teams are able to do just that. We are waiting just on Reach to ready up for Team Lao, and we should be able to get this underway without a whole lot more chatter. But as I said, we'll take a little bit of this time just to give a shout out to the Found Time organization for sponsoring the MavWar tournament so far, and also its prize pool, and of course a big shout out to E-Freak for being the server host and for creating the UMod config, which we're going to see in front of us tonight, Hollywood.
Absolutely. Also a big shout out to xBye, who is streaming this match. Looks like we're going live.
Indeed, we are. We are live with the first half of the first round of this third MavWar Tournament 2018 game between Teams Thinking and Lao. We already did a partial roster rundown, but Team Thinking are on Survivor, pushing their way inside. Boomer coming in from the top, getting M2, and then Pop onto Coach. Charger landing Smoker as well, but that's a pretty quick shutdown and a nice key at the end there by Hydro.
Yeah, only a single boom. That's not going to allow for a lot of damage on this map. although a spitter probably would have been better just from the beginning. We're going to see Team Thinking is pushing up to the RV. Looks like they're going to get up and over this thing before the Infected have time to set up a hit.
Yeah, and they cleared that common pretty fast right there, so they are going to be able to push through that. Boomer spawning behind, not going to be able to get the boom, and the survivors are pushing. They know that fourth spawn is now despawning, right? They don't know what the rest of the hit is, but they've managed to clear a major choke point without taking any kind of resistance.
Absolutely. Thinking is making a lot of progress after only one hit, but we do have a Hunter, Boomer, Smoker, and Charger ready. The Hunter is pre-spawned. Looks like they're all looking to spawn up through. Hunter goes in. We got a single boom onto M, and the Hunter gets shot down. Smoker looking for a pull. Charger whiffs. Should be another hit taking... Oh, Smoker gets a last-minute pull onto Nick, but gets cleared. Survivors are just clearing the last few bits of commons off Rochelle, and looks like they're going to continue on through these houses.
Now see, that Charger hit the tree on the initial charge, but he actually got a couple of punches there to get at least some damage on the board for Team Lao. And for those that don't know, Team Lao has had a little bit of experience playing together in the past, just in terms of Impulse and Lawnmower. But again, one of the major points of the MavWar tournament was to have draft-esque teams join, where there was some parity in the teams, like not the same usual suspects and that kind of stuff, and a balancing in skill levels. So that obviously doesn't mean that one team can't take over a game, but the idea was to keep things pretty close in terms of that parity. And we do have a Witch in play a little bit ahead, and they're going to have a 2-2 for the SI hit at the same time.
Yeah, it looks like Nick's going for that crown. He crowns the Witch, but gets boomed and pounced. Just cleared. We got stick going on to Nick, but he shouldn't have too much trouble getting out of that. There's no capper on top of him. The Smoker looked for a pull, but got picked. The survivors are handling this map extremely well.
Now, they've taken an okay amount of damage so far from the special infected at the same time. I'd say it's about an even trade, but obviously this is all pre-tank damage. And speaking of which, the first tank is up in the hands of the game, in the hands of Lawnmower, the captain of Team Leethal Assault Organization. He's getting his alarm car, and I really want to hear, I think, our first war room for this match, Hollywood. So how about we toss over to that LAO war room?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what's going on.
Troll on my hand spawned up.
That car's really good. Oh well, semi-good.
Oh, that car is... Yeah, it's in the back. Like,
Yeah, it's on the wall.
Back.
On the picket fence.
Where's my first one?
There, it might rotate out on you.
Up by the church.
Can somebody show me where it is? I don't see it.
It's
by the
just
church?
on, like to the left of my jockey.
Not that one. Man.
Someone here too. They're both by the charger.
I just might rotate out. Careful. Ooh my god, you're crazy.
Here it comes.
You want to stumble or you guys?
Shot from some.
Let's wait. Open.
Fuck. Rip tank. Fuck. So bad.
Nice. Fucking cover, baby.
I'm fucked. Well, how's that? Oh.
Good tank.
Good tank. Yeah, really good.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, from that first Lethal Assault Organization war room. That was an incredible tank in the hands of Lawnmower right there, almost getting a kill. All pills gone, all 4 survivors bleeding. Not a massive amount of bonus to speak of. He got kited around a little bit, Hollywood, but that was an outstanding job by that team.
Yeah, that tank fight was looking rough there for a second, but the infected support really pulled through there. That last-minute charger really saved the day for that tank. He got so much damage.
Yeah, I mean, that support, originally the charger whiffed and then stayed alive and then was able to basically land that charge. I thought it was going to be a wipe because I thought Nick was down too, but Nick was not actually down. So at this point, Team Thinking, like, they started off that map pretty strong, and now after that tank, as I mentioned before, all of them are bleeding. They have a couple other hits to take for this as well, and that tank doesn't typically do that amount of damage unless something goes horrifically wrong, and in that case, you know, the SI were able to make a great recovery on that. So now the Boomer's going in from the back, getting a single boom out onto Ellis there, but I think we're going to see the SI. Actually, I thought they were going to save, but instead they're going in. Try to go in for the survivor in the room. Yeah, they got a pull, and then they got a spit almost onto that pulse survivor
Yeah.
too, and it didn't quite work.
Coach was just out of range. That's a really lucky break for them because I think that may have been a down if he hadn't been. Looks like the survivors are they're going to have to deal with, I think, one more hit before they get to the safe room. We're going to see what these infected can do with this last hit. We've got a jockey respawn on top of the safe room.
Right now, they've got 198 bonus still, which I think is pretty solid considering what happened to them. Obviously, they would want to have more overall, but at this point, I think they'll be happy just to make the safe room with that, get about 600 points on this if they can just avoid this last hit. And as you mentioned, that jockey is on top of the safe room with a boomer, charger, and a smoker for the rest of the hit. Charger looking to spawn behind the door, gets it as a matter of fact, but then Coach jumps off into a smoker pull. Charger jumping and trying to get a pound onto him as well, not going to land it. Jockey shut down, and that's going to be the first half of this first chapter here. Team Thinking are going to make the safe room with that bonus, as I mentioned, for a grand total of 589 points for map 1.
Yeah, that's a decent amount of bonus given that that tank could have very nearly wiped. We're going to see what LAO can do as their survivors. We'll see how they handle the tank.
If the survivors were just able to keep it in that area in the back, it would really, really help them out. But he'd actually knocked a hittable over the fence into that back area to stop them from kiting in that direction. So a great example of zoning. We are live here with the second half of the first chapter. Hunter does land below. Slow clear coming out too. Lawnmower taking a good amount of damage from that. Rochelle's still in the back. Smoker pull inside. Ellis is a little bit slow to clear that too. That's a little bit more damage on that first hit than we saw in the last half, Hollywood.
Definitely, and this smoker is still alive. Looks like he's going to go for a despawn. I don't think the survivors are going to be able to make it to this ladder over the white RV quite as quickly as the last team, which means the infected are going to get another hit just before they cross. This is a okay-ish spot for the infected.
Yeah, particularly in this area, we saw Team Thinking push past this choke without having to deal with it, but now it's a Boomer, Smoker, Hunter, and a Spitter going in. Boomer does get a single boom, and there is a survivor separated a little bit in the back there, and he is going to get pounced. That's going to be a good amount of spit damage going out onto Impulse with a pull forward as well, and so far, Team Leethal Assault Organization are taking a lot of damage. That Smoker pull still isn't clear, as a matter of fact. Lawnmower getting the shit beaten out of him by that Smoker for a second. They weren't able to get those clears. That was just a lot of separation from Impulse and Lawnmower. That's really unfortunate for them off a 2-2.
Yeah, you do not expect that kind of damage from that hit, but that was... Team LAO got really disorganized there, and Thinking punished them excellently. We've got the Witch up. We're going to see how LAO chooses to handle this. They've taken a lot more damage than Thinking did when they hit the same spot, so they may have to be more careful here.
Yeah, and that Boomer is going to land on a Lawnmower as well. They're trying to find a way to get this Witch. I think Nick was looking for it for a second, but she got unaggroed as he backed off. And it's a Hunter Charger. Here comes the draw crown attempt. They're going to be working back. SI are going to have a chance to go in on this as well. Oh my god, those Hunters landed at the exact right time. That was literally picture perfect. Charger lands as well. Does get leveled, but that was a great SI hit. I was worried there for a second because as they kept backing up, that gave the Hunters and the rest of the SI hit obviously a chance to like position and get themselves in. If he had quick draw on that, it might have gone better, but that's all of Impulse's bonus gone. And Hollywood, they've taken a tremendous amount of damage now pre-tank.
That's right, and this tank fight, this tank that's coming up, as we saw in the last, as we saw Thinking handling it, this tank can be really devastating, so this does not bode well for Team LAO. Looks like they are heading backwards, looking to fight the tank in the same spot as Thinking did, but they're getting held up by some of the SI here. They still are holding on to that Charger, but the Smoker has pulled Nick, but gets cleared. The tank is gradually moving in, working his hittables in. And are we going to kick it over to a War Room for Thinking?
Indeed we are. We have a tank up in the hands of Joseph here for Team Thinking. As you mentioned, we're going to toss that right over to our first Thinking War Room.
You want Charger, right?
Yeah, sure. Keep your Boomer too.
Yeah, I can't get on the roof, I'm bad, so I'm just gonna
Okay.
try my best.
Just gonna commit.
Good to go.
Gonna commit normally, so.
Sorry about the. Sorry. Nice. There's a car right there.
Nice job. Look at my wish, dude. Holy fuck.
Yeah, it's okay. We wiped them. Good tank, Joe.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. That tank in the hands of Joseph cleaning up right there. Beautiful double boom over the fence that turned almost into a tri-boom. Did stumble the tank for a second. And then both of the other SI pinners landing after Joseph was able to get that zone there. And I think that all happened with Hydro not exactly in his team's Discord, but after a pretty nice tank by Lawnmower on the opposite half, Team Thinking more than answers and actually finds themselves leading by 250 points going into this next chapter, Hollywood.
Yeah, I think Thinking have shown themselves to be a much more proficient on the infected side. They did a lot of damage that LAO comparatively was not able to do. They handled those. They did a lot more damage on those chokes.
Not only that, but I think, like, even when Team Lethal Assault Organization was trying to push through, like, the chokes with, like, 2 hits up or whatever, they got just split enough to where they took a massive amount of damage. Like, when they had that choke over the mobile home there when they jumped in, it was like, okay, one survivor got pounced back, another one got smoked forward, and it just turned into an unfortunate situation where a hit that, again, you know, on paper shouldn't do a fantastic amount of damage, ends up being really, really good just due to SI capitalizing on survivor mistakes. And that's really what a lot of the, you know, SI coordination boils down to. If whoever the survivors are, if they can make less mistakes than the other team, less chances for a coordinated SI team to capitalize, and obviously you score more points. But in this case, like I said, even though I would say the teams are pretty evenly matched in terms of fragging power, it's been Team Thinking who have really hit that cohesion so far on the SI side. Lethal Assault Organization is going to have to find a way to get a little bit tighter, I would say, on both sides, aside from the tank play that we saw from Lawnmower that first chapter, and I do believe someone broke ready up. They fixed it, and we are ready to go live. Tell me about this first hit here, Hollywood. What do we got?
All right, looks like we've got a 3-1, 2 hunters, a smoker, and a boomer. Obviously, a spitter would be preferred, but this has a lot of potential for this first hit, depending on where the infected choose to attack. Without a spitter, I would say in this outside area just before this building would be ideal. We've already got one hunter pre-spawn jumping around. Looks like the survivors are taking him nice and slow.
Nice skeet right there going out onto that hunter. Boomer dropping and getting popped as well. We do have that hunter taking the smoker pull in the front. I think they might have been just trying to go for some kind of distraction to land that boom or for like some kind of DP. But at this stage now, with Team Thinking having some of the momentum on their side, this tank's going to have to do work.
Absolutely.
Relax, I'm coming.
Looks like we've got the witch is up. Let's see where exactly she is. It looks like the survivors may already be looking for a draw count. She's in between these silos, and there's a lot of spots for the infected to spawn around her. So it looks like they're gonna. That would be my thinking, is draw her from here, because I would not want to crown her in that spot.
Yeah, and I think what they're looking to do is they're going to have one survivor go up and maybe block some of those top spawns, as you mentioned. But actually, Nyx is going to man mode it, run up, and kill the witch, because I think the SI were thinking they were going to go back and do the same kind of thing. But instead, Nyx takes advantage of that. They do get a single boom out of it, and I think they picked another SI as well. Indeed, they did. There's only a spitter and a hunter left in the spawn queue here, and I think Team Lethal Assault Organization's infected has been a little disjointed just from the first couple of hits. This hunter is looking to get something right now. Impulse kind of up there in the sky, going for the DP, almost landing it onto Rochelle right there. And I think they're also being a little bit careful because this tank is going to be up in a couple of seconds as well.
Yeah, this tank, I think the infected are going to want to sack the spitter, because this tank is not going to be able to do a lot of damage unless he's got some better support. And the spit goes down and the spitter's down. The tank is up in the hands of, who is it, Noof. Are we going to take it over to a war room on Team LAO?
We will in a second, because I like the call right here from Team Thinking, playing it aggressive, going up, trying to get some chip, and zoning him out to the side. And this can be an area with a lot of high damage potential, but the survivors are going to have to do something where they get boomed or something like that, because in this area they can just rail the tank its entire way in. We are going to toss it over to a Team LAO war room, as Nooth is going to look to commit this probably pretty soon.
Without taking shit, just go to the other side.
I'm ready for a hit.
Alright, I'm gonna start moving in.
I just fucking Adam charged him, bro.
Fuck. I'm exposed.
Right, you can just like go like you're going forward in the map and you're above them and behind them.
Do not cut them off. That's why you just go in. They don't do this.
Just commit, bro. Commit.
Alright.
Just punch him, dog.
Alright, going in. Back me up, back me up, back me up. Gonna need it soon. Oh my goodness. Help me!
So, this tank fight is a pretty fine example of why you want to commit instantly and not let them go to this area. Like, you can, like, you see what...
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, from that tank for Team LAO. Nuth only able to get a single punch in that field. A great amount of kiting right there from Team Thinking, Hollywood.
Yeah, Team Thinking are really carrying their momentum with them. They played that tank really aggressively. They were chipping him down while he tried to make that transition into the wall to play some rocks, and then they just blew right past him, forcing him to go in.
Yeah, and when you commit in that open field, you really need some kind of separation recap. Hunter going in for some kind of scratches, I think, not going to land much of anything. Spit does go down for a split second, and right now Team Thinking are in an excellent position. The really big hit here, though, is the stair hit, but Team LAO really haven't sacked a tremendous amount. The Hunter does go in, Boomer's going to get popped, and now it's just a Smoker and a Spitter up to do anything about this. But back to that tank for a second. I mean, when the tank had them zoned in that one area, like near the generator, that's probably a better place to commit in from, aside from that huge open field, especially if you don't have the hit for it. And I think Thinking did a great job capitalizing. But now we are going to see a Ledge Hang go out onto Brittany real fast. They are going to try to get her back up before any other spawns go in. Jockey going in as well for the Survivor down below, getting M2'd, not going to land. We do have a Charger in the spawn queue with this Smoker looking for a repull onto Coach. Not really anything going right now, though. Smoker is going to miss, and that was disaster avoided right there.
Yeah, it looked like the Infected were trying to stall, trying to get a Charger, which they now have, but they've staggered their spawns a lot for not much in return. So it looks like this is all going to hinge on whether their sacrifice for the Charger is going to be worth it. Smoker tried to get a pull on Coach into the ledge, but didn't work. This Charger is still looking for a place to spawn. Spit goes down onto nothing, and the Survivors right now are doing really well.
Yeah, the Survivor team just looks extremely coordinated at this point. Everyone's playing their role very, very well. And at this stage now, if you're Team LAO, you're staring down an almost 1k point health bonus for Team Thinking to make it to the safe room. And they need to do something huge here. They have a quad, but if they use the quad now, then they're not probably going to have it for the field. I think they might be thinking that right now. But actually, the Jockey's going to spawn up, trying to go in, and the Survivors are going to back up. Nice triple cap going off. Charger's going to look for the charge. Is going to land the charge, but doesn't take the Survivors back down. Choosing instead to go for the corner there. I thought for sure he could have gotten some kind of in-cap charge onto Hydro in the front, if not a charge the other direction, because that would have been an in-cap either way. So a good amount of damage, but I think that could have done even more.
Yeah, that was a very bizarre Charger. I thought for sure he was going to go, you know, either to left or right, try and get that in-cap. I mean, they worked so hard to get that Charger, and I don't know. Very strange call. We do have a double boom going out, and Jockey landing onto Nick into Spit, but he got cleared relatively quick. They managed to avoid the end cap. These Survivors still have a lot of bonus here from their health.
Yeah, the Survivors are still playing with a 795 point health bonus prior to making it through the field. We do have a Hunter going for a 25 right here, going in, landing the 25 on Brittany
done.
On the pipe. Impulse just ground pounding her right there from probably beyond where you can even hear that Hunter in the skybox. Now they have 3 other spawns to go in with. It's going to be a Smoker, Charger, and a Spitter. Charger's leading in though, not going to land much of anything. Smoker is only getting a spawn right now, getting a pull onto Coach in the back with some damage going out onto that as well. So obviously, there's been some damage pushed out on Team Thinking, but they haven't taken an in-cap, and they're going to get rewarded for that. They're going to have almost 2,000 points, if not a little bit over that, as a matter of fact, going into map 3. Jockey going in, getting M2'd, I think, 3 times. Safe room door closes, and it's a score of 1,926 points through 2 maps for Team Thinking thus far.
Yeah, that was really impressive play by thinking. LAO are going to have to try and pull things together because that's a hard bonus to beat.
If LAO gets wiped at this tank, that's when it's going to become pretty hard for them to make the comeback, I would say.
Yeah, if I were on the infected side, I would try and keep them in that initial area where the tank spawns. The tank spawned like right around this little shack near an outhouse, and they immediately pushed up towards the silos and these little barn houses. I think if I were the infected side, I would definitely want to keep them near that outhouse in this area with the trees and the generator, because it's at least somewhat easier to get some corners in there. But like you said, that big open field, it's really hard for the infected to do anything without the survivors making a mistake for them.
Exactly. And now apparently Hydro is once again muted. The Discord's doing its best to troll team thinking, but apparently they're going to be using in-game chat. So if anyone's interested in that, I don't believe xBye has his in-game chat on for good reason, you know, because usually good things don't happen in in-game chat in competitive games. But at this stage of the game, they're going to try to do the best they can to coordinate. It's a Smoker, Brimmer, Hunter. We are with this second half of this second chapter. We are live with it. One survivor still outside, going to get pounced and then intercepted with another Hunter, trying to clear through the wall. It's not working, and Reach is taking a lot of damage on that. Actually, he's already down to 47 HP. That was almost a really nice play by Team Lethal Assault Organization, but with Hollywood, he stayed outside.
Yeah, Rochelle got caught back there and thinking pounced immediately, quite literally. That was a lot of unnecessary damage onto Reach. This does not bode well for the rest of this map.
Does not. I mean, that was a 3-1 without a spit right there, and it did have a technical multi-cap landing, but now we have this Witch up, and they are going to have a Hunter, Smoker, Spitter, and a Jockey, so a 3-1 with no Charger, and we're going to see a crown attempt going by Impulse. He's going to get immediately intercepted by that Smoker. Jockey lands in the back as well. The Skeet does go out, but this is an obscene amount of damage onto LAO so far. Kind of similar to what we saw last map, and at this point now, this opens up a lot of potential for Team Thinking's tank. They can play Rock Tank, they can do pretty much whatever the hell they want because of how much damage they've done to the survivors so far.
Yeah, we've got Impulse on full temporary health. LAO is also bleeding. This tank can take his time, which was not something that the last tank was able to do. Looks like he's going to go inside and push in through there. There is a window he can climb through, and he got a single boom onto Coach as well, but this tank is definitely looking to play Rock Tank, I believe.
Oh yeah, and actually I think the tank in the hands of Brittany might be considering committing in from the back. Let's throw it over quickly to a Team Thinking Worm and see what they are thinking.
Yeah, let's do it.
Reloading. It's so bad. There's no charger.
No, these are good spawns. These are like the best spawns you have for a tank.
Alright, I'm going. Help. Oh shit, no, I
It's
didn't.
okay, just get damage,
No.
Nice, good job.
No.
Go on your feet. Let's
You're not looking pretty compared to where we were. This is good.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, from that tank in the hands of Brittany, getting kite around that generator a little bit before the SI support were able to land a nice double cap with the tank capitalizing on a couple stumbles and taking a couple pins. What do you think of that, Hollywood?
Well, all in all, I think LAO handled that relatively well. The tank almost landed a few corners, but they played ring around the rosy around that little generator area and managed to take that tank.
Oh my god.
Really, oh my goodness. Ellis is caught by a charger in the back.
Yep, he's gonna get pulled too. That's gonna be...
Last second?
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That is extremely unfortunate. They tried to take that choke too fast. That's going to be another down going out onto the lawnmower. As a matter of fact, that's the second in cap, so that means he's going to be put black and white after that. And all survivors were already, like, with no pills after that tank. And now they're going to be trying to get him back up. He's going to be down by common again. And something is just off rhythm with LAO's survivor, where they're just not moving together as a group. And again, Nuth is separated in the back. No spawns are up to capitalize on that this time, but that charger landing was key because now they've gotten even more damage. 3 survivors bleeding out. Nuth the only one with permanent health left. And I don't see Team LAO making this event whatsoever.
No, I don't think so either. And we have to remember we still have this deadly staircase. So if Thinking managed to get a charger down there and manages to knock one off, that could be disastrous.
Oh, that's a
LAO.
death. That's a death of the Charger in the back, and the Hunter secured a pin, and the other two survivors in front are hoarded. This is just disastrous so far from Team LAO, and there's the in cap going out onto Nuth. He was their last permanent health bonus, and Team LAO survivor, as I said, they're just kind of falling apart right now. This is not what they want, and I think Impulse is actually pushing ahead with two of his teammates still down in the back. Jockey going in, trying to get the separation onto him. M2 does go out. Smoker pull in the back as well. And it's just Impulse trying to fight off this Jockey right now, who's doing the best he can to not get M2'd again, but does get M2'd again. And Impulse is going to hack his way through those common, but gets scratched down by a spitter, and that's only 333 points for LAO on this chapter, and they're already down by almost 1,400 going into map 3.
Oof. Yeah. Team LAO definitely seems to be getting more and more disorganized with each map, and this is not going well for them.
Yeah, that is an understatement, I would say, because, I mean, okay, map 1 was map 1. They got wiped at a tank they shouldn't have, but then that, you know, just again, on every hit they've had almost, except from the tank hits and that kind of stuff, they've had someone get split and some SI capitalize on it. We saw it map 1, and then we saw it map 2 twice. One with the hit where I think Rich took like 53 damage or something like that on the first hit from a separation hunter pin, and then Lawnmower got in-capped when the Charger dropped down on the ramp. So this is just not the ideal situation, to say the least, for Team LAO. And at this stage, you know, they've got a tank at 43%, but they absolutely they have to guarantee a wipe here, I would say, to have a chance, because if Team Thinking makes it all the way, you know, and the other thing about this is, you know, in some other matches and that kind of stuff we've seen almost a partial mercy ruler, like a GG map 4, but I would also like to mention that I think I dropped it a little bit at the top of the cast, but a lot of the seeding is decided by your score differential. So if this keeps going for the next like 3 maps, that's going to be terrible for Team LAO's chances.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is, I mean, we also not only have to think about Survivor side, which we've got double pounce, one in spit. Boomer's gonna stumble him into more spit. This might be in Nick avoids an in-cap somehow, but that's a pretty decent hit for LAO on the first map. They seem to be pulling it together.
Yeah, now that was the most coordinated hit from them we've seen so far. We need more of that in order to make the game a little bit closer, just because, like I said, like that, you know, okay, double cap, Hydra was a little bit separated there, they got the spit down on them as well, and so Hunter, Jockey, Hunter, and a spitter, so 3-1 with no smoker here, double Hunters as well, going for some DPs probably, trying to get as much damage pushed out in Team Thinking before this elevator as they possibly can, but Thinking, knowing that, are going to probably push and try to get in right now, and the hit is not going to be there in time.
Now we got a attempted DP that gets shot down right as it lands onto the elevator. We got our second Hunter is looking for a despawn. The Jockey is pre-spawned, and we have a spitter waiting. They could try and get some stumbles into spit right before the elevator. We're gonna see what they decide to do here.
Yeah, and they're probably gonna see Team Thinking push out before that last spawn is up, and indeed, Joseph pushing to the left there. It's gonna be a Charger. So Charger, Jockey, Hunter, Spitter for this ladder hit, and if they can make something happen here, that would be ideal. And the other thing to mention is that the tank's going to be up at 43%. Right now they're at 40, so this could be dangerous for the survivors if they drop into that hit, but the Jockey's already pre-spawned.
Yeah, Team LAO seems like struggling to make something happen. I think once again they are really betting almost everything on this Charger.
Oh, there it is!
Lands it onto Rochelle.
There's the in-cap that they needed. Tank's up in the hands of Impulse. We're going to keep it right here, because now Impulse is going to be climbing his way up this ladder, and he's going to probably commit in on the survivors who are on top, and indeed he is going to push in, missing that first punch onto Ellis and deciding to get back out, actually. That might be a little bit of a misplay, because now the survivors are on top is able to shoot him for free, and there's still a survivor down in there, and they actually might be able to get that pickup. They absolutely cannot let them get that pickup. Something needs to go in. The tech needs to go in.
Tank rock.
No, and that baited out the rest of the hit. And now this Charger's gonna go and get a stumble, but Impulse is gonna be alone in a second. Boomer's gonna not land either instead of going on the down survivor. Oh my god. Team LAO is really not capitalizing on that. They got the in-cap charge, and now this is happening to where Impulse is completely split to the side, getting shot from every direction, and just not capitalizing on that down. All 4 survivors are back up now. He's jumping his way in, but he's completely out of luck here because his SI spawns are just coming up now. He's being focused. Smoker gets cleared. He gets a punch onto Brittany, another punch onto Brittany, but that is not the wipe they needed.
Absolutely not. I have no idea why the tank chose to back off right there. That seemed like such a great opportunity to just go in.
Wow, that was... I thought for sure that was going to be a wipe. Like, they got the in-cap charge off, and then when Impulse jumped in, he jumped to the side of that building, right? And then there is no ladder there for him to climb back up. The Boomer could have boomed the down guy, but decided to go for some kind of other arc boom, and they should have guarded that in-cap, I think. But instead now, we're going to be seeing the rest of this hit come in. That Boomer's going to get a proxy right there with some spit damage, but again, Hollywood, the distance points are just too great on this map.
Absolutely. Thinking are making a few stumbles, maybe getting a little overconfident, but overall, they're still doing decent. They pull out onto Nick, but it doesn't stop him from getting the crown. Thinking is still pulling through, and LAO needs to make something happen really fast.
Yeah, I mean, and they only have like 1 or 2 more hits to do it at this stage. Like, that Boomer gets popped, Hunter and Jockey are up, but at this stage, Team Thinking still have 540 health bonus. So, like, that's going to put them over 3k if they manage to make the safe room. They're going to drop 1 survivor below to block, but that charge, that hit that they got into the tank spawn was the opportunity Team Lao was looking for. But now, you know, they have a 3-1 with a Boomer, and they're going to have to try to get most of the health bonus off Joseph, but this is not looking good for them.
No, not at all. Survivors are playing this slow. Looks like they're trying to bait out a hit. The Hunter's already spawned. I'm sorry, both Hunters already spawned. Looks like they're going to push through. Oh.
Oh yeah, because it looks like Rochelle... I think Rochelle fell or something like that, and instead now, you know, this Boomer's going to go and get the nice double boom. Rest of the hits looking to find its way in, but they're a little bit disorganized with that entrance there. Hunter's getting taken out in order instead of going in together. Now it's just a Jockey left. Very, very strange choice there by Team Thinking. I think it's because Rochelle accidentally fell or something like that, and maybe that was just the call, but it's working out for them right now.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't like the idea of going in through that entrance, but overall, LAO, they had a brilliant charge. They had a huge opportunity to sort of take back some of the momentum of this game, and they were not able to capitalize. That's a real heartbreaker. We got a last-second spit, but that's not going to stop them from making the safe room.
Yeah, and I mentioned at the top of the cast, I'm pretty sure, where if you have a team rolling with, like, all cylinders firing, or at least most of them in that case, where, again, I think Team Thinking got a little lucky there on that tank, but they've scored just about exactly 1k points per map so far through the 3 maps of this game, whereas Team Lao has only got 569 through their 2 survivor rounds. And now, I mean, you can talk about lightning striking twice, any other crazy metaphor you want to use, but guess what? Like, that kind of charge off into a tank, that just doesn't happen. I'm still kind of in disbelief from that, I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely. Rochelle landed right inside the building. That would have been a great place for the tank to, you know, sort of zone them away, prevent them from picking her up and letting the SI get up and then go in on that, but for some reason the tank just decided to back off, I guess.
Yeah, now I mean all the pressure is going to be on Team Lao, and Coach is actually running around and spit here. They do insta clear that Hunter, but he took about over 30 damage actually. Like this was unfortunate for him, where I think he got like he almost got. Actually, I think they skied the Hunter instead, but again, he wasn't able to get his way outside, and that's been the story of the game for Team Lao Survivor, just having small little positional awareness issues like that lead to massive damage.
Yeah, that's a slight mistake, but technically better than the way Thinking handled that first hit. We're going to see if LAO can survive this staircase area better and how they handle that tank.
Throw the spitter on the SI side of things right now, because they have that Jockey Charger and a Boomer. They're probably gonna, they're gonna hit on the staircase instead of going for the Death Charge. The Death Charge is not a high percentage thing whatsoever, especially not in matches. Although I have been Death Charge here in a match before, funny enough. The funny part now is that they are gonna have to like probably drop on the Survivor side, and one of the ways to do it is to drop down on that landing, then go directly under. But the SI are waiting for that. The Charger's set up behind them, actually trying to get some kind of charge off. I think this is gonna be either M or Hydro's tank, and the Survivors did exactly as I said. Now they have taken that second floor without the tank spawning.
Yeah, slightly different strategy here. I do like this call. It seems a lot safer than even bothering with those staircases. The tank is up, however, in the hands of M.
Smoker doesn't quite get the pull off. We are going to have that Boomer dying. Let's take it over to a team of Thinking Worm and see how they play this tank, as you mentioned, in the hands of M.
Absolutely, let's see it.
Charge Nisra. Wait, never mind.
Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Don't throw rocks. Don't throw rocks. If they go in that room again, commit, okay?
Guess we'll have to play this normal.
Probably get you. Yeah, I could probably get you some rocks. I don't know.
Or just commit.
Yeah, just go in. Fuck it.
Oh, really good boom.
Just gave that up, son. Your support is so good. Okay. Yeah, go inside. Go inside, or wherever that guy is. You got it. You got it. You got it. You should climb. You should climb. You should climb.
Come me.
Reloading!
Your rock. Oh, they're going up there. You can punch them. Oh, almost.
Oh, fuck. God damn it.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. That tank in the hands of M doing a good amount of work right there, pushing the survivors back into a 3-boom that they were not blocking, and then a double cap did go out. Tank was able to turn around. Rochelle made the plays there, though, where she was forwarded but able to get those clears on those pinners. And, okay, if Team LAO makes the safe room with this, and they still have a chance at pulling something out of their asses in 2 maps following that, but, like, again, they would need to take the next couple hits here perfectly to even have an outside shot. That they do kill a jockey, though, as they move forward. And the witch dies as well.
Nice crown from the air. We've got a spitter going on to Nick. Charger whiffing on Coach, and a Hunter getting skeeted. Overall, that was a pretty good choke for the survivors, I should say.
Yeah, and they still have about 100 more bonus than Team Thinking did when they got into the safe room. If they can match that, as I said, this would be a really nice turnaround for their survivor to at least make that map and then find a way to pretty much score more points in their bonus than they had the first 2 maps. And that's important now because, like I said, it's still possible to have that outside shot at the comeback, but they have to make every single point count. No fall-offs, no random like separation pulls, anything else like that. It's going to be a spitter, jockey, boomer, and a smoker. So the 2-2. Jockey's already chipped. Boomer going in, getting a nice double boom, though, onto the survivor. Smoker spawn in the back. Boomer does die. Smoker looking for a pull from down below. Spit goes in. The survivors do jump out of it, and they should be able to get the pick on this smoker as well. Missing the pull again, and that's going to be a nice handle so far. Jockey going in, trying to get something on to Lawnmower. Not going to land. That's a nice take from Team LAO.
Yeah, LAO definitely seems to be pulling things together. Thinking is now a team that is playing a little bit sloppily.
Yeah, and I think that's a product of a few things. I mean, after having a couple maps to warm up with the slump that they haven't had before, like both teams, Hunter going in, actually going to manage to land on to Ellis. Boomer spawning up as well, getting a nice tri-boom, and there is just a Hunter left, probably going to go for some cheeky scratches over here on the survivors. Indeed, going in, actually wall kicking directly on to the health bonus right there, changing up the meta a little bit instead of going for those M2s. But that's going to be Team LAO making their first safe room of the match and actually finding a way to, barely beat Team Thinking's bonus on that. So they've turned this back into a semblance of a game, and now MavWar is everything.
That's true. You talked about that at the beginning of this match. MavWar is has been unnerfed in terms of the points that you can win on here, which means that, I mean, LAO still has a chance to do this if they get a nice amount of bonus and some crazy ass wipe onto Thinking.
Yeah, and I think this tank's going to be in the hands of Rich for that as well. And it is a 35% tank, so the classic early tank with the hittables and all the other fun that goes into that. It's as if you just took, you know, the favorite elements of RNG Left 4 Dead in terms of like, okay, someone's going to get a random spawn over here and then just 4 or 5 hittables depending on what the tank does. It's always entertaining. It's always been a map that has that potential for just a huge turnaround. And if there's a time to clutch a tank for Team LAO, it would be right now.
Yeah, Elio really needs this tank to do work. We're gonna see how Thinking chooses to deal with this tank. And we've got slight hiccup with my spec card right there.
All good, all good. We've got Hydro rejoin the server as well, because I said he's had some interesting Discord issues so far. But at this point now, it's going to be Team Thinking with a chance to put this game away. I'd say if they make this map even distance points wise, and Reach is going to have to do work on this tank. Boomer, Smoker, Jockey, and a Charger for this first hit. And I believe the Witch. The Witch is actually already in play as well, next to the Dumpster, so a lot of damage potential for the SI side right here, especially because they have that 3-cap with the Boom in an area that can go very badly if the survivors don't shut that down. Smoker Pole does go out. Nice Jockey laying in the back as well, and this is kind of what I was talking about. That Smoker Pole does get cleared. Charger goes in, not going to land anything, but that's a good amount of damage onto Brittany on that first hit.
Yeah, Leo is really pulling this together. I like what I'm seeing right now. Looks like the Smoker's going to take a position near close-ish to the Witch. Going to try and get a last-minute pull here. Gets it off to Coach, but he gets cleared, and Nick crowns that Witch right at the last second. The tank is up now in the hands of Rich. We're going to kick it over to LAO War Room.
Indeed, we are. Let's take it over there because Team LAO has to clutch this tank, and that's a good hittable hit to start.
Blocking all the spawns. That's just insane. All 4 of them.
I'll try to focus Hydra. I got a Jockey, so.
Reloading.
It's a good car. It's all the way in the back.
Reloading.
Nick and Nick.
Twice, but I think the key grinder. Still bringing.
Go for a kill for sure. I mean, you can leave him to the zombies. He's gonna die.
Just get out. There spawns. Hide behind that car. Run backwards.
Hold up. It's a
You're just gonna have to just chase him. Okay. Like, just, okay.
get hit now.
Hunter! Hunter!
Most difficult place to hunt.
No. You guys spawned closer than that.
Fire on Rochelle.
Ugh, that was the easiest strike.
Same.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. That tank in the hands of Rich. So close to the wipe with that 3-cap attempt right there at the end, but that Hunter was nowhere near to hit that intercept until it was a little bit too late, and Rochelle was able to clear the Jockey, I believe. You know, kill going out on that, but there's still a good amount of health bonus on these 3 survivors who are still alive, and they're going to get the 3-cap here, but they really need to land it. Hunter looking for the wall kick inside, going to go in for it, not getting the stumble though. Jockey going in, not going to land as well. Stumble goes out, double boom lands as well. Charger's jumping around trying to get some kind of punches, and actually is going to work its way out, but that's not going to be exactly what Team LAO needed.
No, LAO really almost pulled together on that last bit of the tank. They were able to get 1 kill. I mean, all in all, it looked a lot better than it was in these earlier 2 maps. Not a charge onto a Coach, that was impressive. But Thinking is going to make it to the safe room, it looks like, with at least 2 players of permanent health. Last minute pull on to Rochelle. Boomer goes out, gets popped. Coach and Rochelle are stuck outside with the spit. Rochelle gets pulled again. And Coach manages to clear that without hitting the car. I thought for sure he was going to shoot it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what Team Thinking need to do, is just not have that 3-cap go in. Hunter gets completely just like decapitated by that katana as Team Thinking push into the safe room. It's still a 791 point chapter due to that witch bonus. And at this point, you know, it's over 2,000 points. For Team LAO to have a shot, they need to make safe room with all 4 green, like high green.
Yeah, that'll be difficult to do when you've got a tank with that many hittables to work with. But we're going to see how they can do it. After all, LAO got a really nice initial damage from this hit. We're going to see if Thinking manages to do the same thing.
I do believe the tank for Thinking is going to be up into the hands of Hydro, who is their captain. And Hydro is going to look to put this game away and put Thinking in a great position as well with that point differential. Charter going in on a smoker pull right there on Impulse. Outside the safe from here does get cleared now. Jockey's going to try to go in as well, getting M2'd and shut down. So now, if you're Team LAO, you know, you've had what's happened in this game so far in terms of Survivor. You've had a couple separation issues go down, but now you've got to play this as picture perfect as possible, and that's a good way to start with that Witch Crown going out as they are about to spawn this tank, which will be up, as I mentioned, into the hands of Team Captain Hydro.
All right, while Hydro makes his way to the survivors with his hittables, we're going to kick this over to a Thinking War Room.
Indeed, we are. Let's see how they play it out, and hopefully his Discord is fully functional now.
That would be best.
Oh, okay. I don't know how. Can I just sack this?
Yeah, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it.
Yeah.
We got a knock. Playing too much PUBG.
Reloading.
You get that, man.
Reloading. I can't do this on my own. Give me some help.
Ooh. Wait, you got a car? What? Nice.
I can't do this on my own. Give me some help.
Good wipe. Still got finale.
Is there like a mercy?
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, from that war room. I do not believe there actually is a mercy. I believe we're going to be seeing a finale on this as well. Insane car hits from Hydra right there. That hatchback bounced off the roof, did a pirouette in the sky, and came down on Impulse's face. And then he got the down on the survivor who was trying to pick Impulse up as well with that car as the jockey landed. And then he got the last car onto Lawnmower as well. And that's what I said a little bit in terms of that tank being very, very hittable driven, Hollywood.
Absolutely. Hydra played that tank really intelligently. Obviously, the hittable work was exactly what he needed to be, but when he got that first down, I think he made the right call when he just got right onto that roof and just decided to camp him. He can play rock tank, he can waste their time, and obviously he still has that hittable that was right on the roof to work with if anyone tries to pick him up.
Exactly, and now this is a hard part for Team LAO because obviously the game is out of reach effectively at this point. Probably still mathematically a possibility, but you know, score differential is important. They have to find a way to keep playing, even though they've already lost the game, which I believe is probably the hardest thing to do in competitive Left 4 Dead in a lot of ways. It's like, oh, we've already lost the game, why would we want to keep it close? But now we have the stick going in. Hunter does manage to land. Other Hunter is working its way in, jumping and getting a scratch onto Coach, and a little bit of chip damage going out. But as I said, Hollywood, this has been a hell of a show by Team Thinking so far.
Absolutely. Thinking was just so much more coordinated. Their positioning was much tighter, and they just showed themselves to be, you know, like the more cohesive team right now. Not necessarily the better team, but the teamwork is really the integral part here.
Yeah, that's really the thing about it, where they have found a way to, again, it was a quasi, like I said, this draft tournament, well, this tournament I should say is a quasi-draft, quasi, you can kind of also have people you know sign up with, and these players have known each other just from playing in a similar, just in the same kind of circle. Hunter gets blown out of the sky, Charter manages to land, nice hit going out right here from Team LAO, lots of damage actually onto M right there, as we were talking about their team cohesion. But, as I said, they have that history with them where they're then able to play SI better. You know, they have the ideas of what the other one is thinking when they're going in for hits, stuff like that. And survivor positioning obviously is something you can still capitalize on. But overall, you know, Thinking have shown themselves to be an extremely strong contender so far in all the teams we've seen.
Absolutely. The last two matches were extremely close. This one obviously is not, and I think that shows that Thinking has put in a lot more work in terms of the preparation for this tournament. They're really coordinated. We've got a distance pulse coming in, almost landing. We've got a tank up in the hands of Nuth. Are we gonna see a LAO War Room?
Oh, let's jockey around as well. Nuth also is trying to work his way in there. We're gonna get that in cap, and he's gonna launch a car onto the roof. Not going to land right there. We're gonna keep it here just for a second. Now we're gonna move it over. He is moving back out. Let's see how Team LAO plays there. I believe this is their last tank of the game.
All right, let's do it.
Reloading.
Ooh, nice man. I'm gonna go with this. Let's hold up, hold up. I'm going
Car over here? Car over here?
Yes,
Car down there, down there. Ooh. Nice. Kill that one. Yeah. Always.
Babysit.
Okay.
They're gonna go pick up. You guys can go in, there's only 2 alive.
Bro, just hold W at him. Don't let him juke you. Just run at him. You have all the HP in the world. Just run straight at him. Inside step. Run at him. Punch. Punch. You got it. Nice. Good job, dude. Nice cars.
Use some help over here.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. The tank wipe going out for Team LAO by Nuth onto Team Thinking right there. That was a hell of a car hit. And that's something I will mention as well. I think I said it in the intro, but I'll say it again for those who weren't watching. It's the top 2 teams from every group. So let's say, as we know, Team LAO is going to lose this game because of the score right now, right? But then if they're able to find a way to win their next 2 games, that gives them a pretty good shot at being the second team from the group going into the next round. Obviously, depending on differential, they could actually still be the first team. So because it moves to a top 8 playoff system where they take 2 teams from each of the 4 groups, then you get the chance to have a game like this and then just reset. And I think that's what Team LAO needs to do. You know, take a look at their roster, maybe play a little bit more before the next match and that kind of stuff. You know, and just find a way to take the positive and then work on some of these survivor issues. We do have the first hit of the last half of this game going in. Hunter landing, other Hunter landing, Jockey going forward, intercept, managing to land it on to Nick there as well. That's a good amount of damage coming out from Team Thinking.
Yeah, Thinking, pulling it together a little bit more, and we've got a nice defiant car alarm trigger because why not?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's something where it's like, you know, just shoot the alarm car now, have no memes during tank, and just kill all the common as you're also waiting for the event board to come in at the same time. But the Jockey Charger, Hunter, so we do have a quad for Team Thinking right now as Team LAO gets into position. Hunter's coming in from the roof, going to land, but then get immediately cleared. Charger trying to wait, does get a chest bump right there. Jockey lands, looking for an intercept on to Ellis, managing to land it, but he jumps on top of the generator, and that disaster has been mitigated.
Yeah, LAO handled that hit really well. It looked a bit tricky there, but where is Nick going? Oh, he's got a machete, my bad.
Oh yeah, they're going to find ways to get those melees in between hits, because again, melees, especially in UMod, are beneficial to the survivors' desires to stay alive. Charger, Spitter, Smoker, and a Boomer for this next hit. Boomer spawning up, imagine getting a crazy arc boom on the coach right there. The Smoker goes in as well, not going to land that. Charger does manage to land on the coach though, who's pinned in between the truck and the car, and he's going to go down. There's absolutely no way he gets out of that spit.
I mean, I kind of like to give credit to that Charger, but I think that was just a bit of really bad luck on Coach's part. This car and truck were positioned so perfectly with his telephone pole, he was literally trapped. No capper required.
Exactly, yeah, and I think he like stepped into that, or maybe the Charger hitboxed him down into it, but just an unfortunate situation to have one bleeding, because now, obviously since they've already got the game won, it's in Team Thinking's best interest to end them still as much as, or as early as possible, I should say, just because score differential matters that too. If they blow the other team out, then they do have a better chance of making it. The tank is up in the hands of Vixen right here, who is going to rotate actually from that original spawn back to the roof over here, and how about we send over one final time to a Team Thinking word.
Absolutely. Let's hear what they got.
Wanna chill?
I think the rain
No,
clouds.
the fog. Yeah, good. Get up.
Shoot.
Yeah.
You shoot me again, and I will drop you.
Why are you so far? Wait, I didn't know you were committing. Oh my god, Emma, I'm so sorry.
Can't do this on my own. Give me some help. Can't do this on my own.
I have someone at the car if you are not busy.
I'm down! Damn it! I need some help!
Good down.
Hey, over here.
You got this, Em. Ooh, nice. You're so bad. Holy shit, wait, I can't spawn. Ah! Nice.
Alright, we did it.
GG.
Thanks.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We do see the counter wipe coming out from Team Thinking. Tank in the hands of M, doing a good amount of work, and that's going to be your final for the third game of the MavWar Hype Unity Tournament 2018, 40-62 to 20-47, in favor of Team Thinking over Team Leethal Assault Organization. That's going to put Thinking to 1-0 in the tournament, and it's going to put Team LAO down to 0-1 going into their next couple of games. We saw Team Thinking really pull it together there and just demonstrate their team cohesion, Hollywood. What do you have to say about the end of that?
Yeah, that was an unexpected game. Like I said before, the first two matches that I've seen so far, they were extremely close, and this one was decidedly not. I mean, Thinking have shown themselves they're a really strong contender. They've got that team cohesion down.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like we said, there's a little bit of time, I think, between now and the next match, at least for Team LAO, right? So they have a little bit of time to reset. They have some time to figure their rosters out and that kind of stuff, because they can't afford to lose by the same score delta again for sure, and they really can't afford to lose again, because if you only have 3 games in the group stage here, you know, technically you could still get in with a score of 1 and 2, but there would have to be like, I don't know, like there's sometimes those NFL playoff predictions where it's like we have about 60 scenarios that need to happen for this one team to make it, and if you don't want it to be down to be out of your control, you know what I mean? Like you want to control your own destiny into it, but they have a little bit of time to figure that stuff out. I don't know exactly what their next map is going to be, but Team Thinking, great job by them, way to show up in their first match, especially without their technical starting lineup. Joseph was subbing for 6, and now, you know, we're looking forward to Game 4, which I believe is now tomorrow, Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, like you said, it is early yet. Obviously, LAO can still bring things back next game. They can still come out as, you know, one of the top 2 teams. And Thinking has more time to sort of improve on what they've already demonstrated, but they've hit the ground running.
Exactly, and now, you know, we're going to see exactly how they can rebound in those next couple of games. But first, I mentioned we'll have that match tomorrow, and that 4th match will be the conclusion of the first week of matches here for this tournament, and then we'll have another 4 for you in the week after that. Any final words, Hollywood, before we send it off?
Well, I'd like to say that this was quite a game for my first casting. I love the opportunity I've been given here. I think MavWar, this is going to be a really good tournament to watch. And and I enjoyed casting with you.
Absolutely, it was great having you on. I mean, anytime we can have more people in the Left 4 Dead casting scene, obviously those who, as well as you do, know about the game and that kind of stuff, it really helps out just to have that kind of parity as well. And I'd like just to give a shout out to you for co-casting with me, xBye for doing the streaming under the Maverick Warriors Twitch channel, and also, of course, to our lovely admins, Starpoint, MK, and Found Time, that organization, and the great work that they've done in order to honor 2 people in the Left 4 Dead community who we did lose, and then also to do work to promote awareness for mental illness and other situations like that, as well as the eFreak group for being the server host and the tournament co-sponsor. And with that, we have been Rails, Barlow, Highwood, and xBye, and we will see you most likely tomorrow for that 4th game at 2 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night.